Welcome back. Often when we talk about bullying, we're focusing on young people being bullied at school. But bullying is for adults as well, and it's a problem. A recent survey from the American Osteopathic Association shows that more than a third of U.S. adults have been bullied in their lifetime. And that's what we're talking about this Wellness Wednesday with Mary Jo Horton from Memorial Health. Welcome, Mary Jo.
Thank you.
All right, so let's define what bullying is. What sort of behavior are we talking about?
So we're talking about behavior that intimidates and coerces. So it's really not a lot of times outward and direct. It's providing messages to folks that you're going to behave the way that I've decided you're going to behave.
Okay, and so for adults, this can happen in two places. It can happen at work, it can happen at home. Okay, so if it's happening at work, you're seeing what? You're
seeing people being stifled, their communication, they're being told in nonverbal ways that their feedback is not welcome. They are being mocked or shunned when they do give feedback. They are being told that what has happened to them if they talk about something is not happening to them.
Gaslighting.
Yes. So it's a lot of that, having someone feel like they're not even aware or able to contribute.
And at home, it's looking like similar things?
It's a lot of gaslighting, a lot of putting responsibility on folks, and then when they give feedback that they can't, guilting them and shaming them into doing certain things. And again, it's really creating an environment where people cannot talk openly in a way that feels safe and accepted.
Okay, and you say that nonverbal rules of a group can actually make bullying tolerated.
So think about it. You don't show up to a group and they just hand you a manual of how things are, right?
Right.
You learn how things are by watching folks, by watching who gets their needs met, who doesn't, what happens when there's conflict, who's allowed to share. You're picking up on all of the rules of a group, a family, a couple, whomever it may be, by all of the subtle nonverbal things.
So are you learning in that kind of a situation, are you learning how to be bullied and how to bully?
Absolutely. So what happens is that when you learn a new environment, you have some choices. And for a variety of reasons, some people then decide, you know what, the only safe way to get my needs met is to shift with the group that is bullying, because this is how I'm going to learn how to survive.
So, I know, look, we know that it happens with adults, but in my mind, it's like, that doesn't make sense because we should know better.
We should know better, but I think we've learned a lot of unhelpful strategies. Removing the judgment and criticism aside, if you just look at how we learn how to behave amongst others, a lot of us have learned some pretty poor skills. So if I've learned poor skills as an adult, as a child, I'm not going to magically become an adult and be healthy. I'm going to take that unhealthy learning style along the way with me.
We are seeing that play out every day.
Absolutely.
In news stories we see that play out. All right, so let's talk about some ways that you can navigate bullying, some strategies for that.
So what's really important for us is to know what our values are and to be very aware of what is us coming to the table and what is not us. We really need to have a secure sense of self. So that when things are happening, we're not all of a sudden sucked into it and our insecurities are coming out.
And then you're participating.
And then we're participating.
Okay, so maintain boundaries, avoid internalizing others' behavior.
Yes, let's not personalize things. Because what happens is if we personalize it, we may act out in a way that is defensive and then outside of our values, and then we end up having to clean up our own behavior. So let's be mindful that somebody else's stuff is likely not about us.
And again, maintain boundaries, and we talk about that all the time in this segment.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, we have to decide what environments we're going to participate in and how we're going to do that, and really own ourselves and our behavior.
And finally, you're not doing anybody any favors by not saying something, right?
No. So how often do we talk about when terrible things are happening, it's fueled by silence, right? Even someone's depression, abuse and neglect, all of these things are given rise when silence happens. So what I also want people to be challenged about is silence is contributing to the problem just as much as the overt acts of the bullying.
All right, helping adults deal with bullying. We need that advice more than we have in a long time.
Yes,
Mary Jo, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Tina.